Benatar joined alongside J-Dog.
Mike, it's good to see you. And it feels good today on this Victory Monday. I'm back. My
Victory
NFL
Monday.
picks, they're back, Mike.
Wow. Okay, so you go 3-2 and
3-1. 3-1. I haven't lost Monday Night Football yet. I might be 4-1.
Who you on Monday night?
I'm not on the same team you are.
Okay, so I'm on the Raiders. You're on the Lions. The game's going on. Probably
it happened last night. I thought the Lions played really well. I thought the Raiders was a bad bet, but
we'll see what happens. Hopefully, I go 3-2 because I need to go 3-2 to keep it alive for me this week. It was a tough week.
Listen, listeners will know I'm much maligned on my picks. The last 2 weeks I've been getting roasted. There was a 1-4. There was an 0-5. There were some complications. There was some self-doubt. There was some potential last place talk. But 3-1 with a chance to go 4-1. I'm back. I feel good. I changed my strategy this week. I just want to tell you.
Okay.
I went to Lawyer Friend's strategy. Shout out Lawyer Friend in the Rocky Mountains. I watched ball and I bet on good teams. Mike, I bet on good teams and it worked. The Bengals.
That does work. And I'm sending out an email to our league tomorrow. You are in the running for the quarter if everybody in front of you only goes like either 3-2 or 1-4. You have a shot at the quarter this month.
Is there only one week left of the quarter?
There's 1 week left of the quarter. You're sitting at 8 wins, and the top guy who literally just randomly picks on a Tuesday when the lines come out, Yossi, shout out to Yossi, he has 13 wins right now. You can catch him if he goes 0-5. So I'm hoping
you don't love the idea, and I don't know if Yossi listens. We really hope he does, but I know you don't love the idea of a beginner gambler winning any amount of money in this, and it sounds like he might pick up the second quarter.
Because me and mutual friend are in another league. They almost exact same, similar pick'em contest, same lines, everything. We are in second place with our record, but in this league, we are tied for 8th place in this league. I don't know what people are doing. The top guy, I did all the stats. The top guy is hitting 70% on his picks. And the bottom, which I think is you and Ty, you're hitting at 40% right now.
Which isn't bad, really. I mean, a lot of professionals hit 40, 45%.
Well, you're not going to win money with 40%. We got to get over 50, but you're close.
I understand. There's difference between winning money. That's the thing. Like our pool, and people know this because they've been listening. If you're not in our pool, you might not get it. Hopefully you're in it. Everyone's doing so well. It's like the bottom is not that bad is what Mike is trying to tell us. And
the bottom is not bad.
Said, Mike, I just bet on good teams. Like I just want to give a BDE. Can I just start the show with the BDE?
Yeah. Let me get a little, hold on. Looking for the sound. There it is. All right.
Big Dick Energy, winner of the week.
Mike, it's going to a man who's just like me, who was much maligned, who was being criticized. People said he can't get it done anymore. Something's not right. He's not getting it done on and off the field.
Yeah.
Yes, he can, because he's a Big Dick Energy winner, and his name's Joe Burrow.
Whoa.
He's back. He's pulling upsets. He's going on the plane, traveling to San Fran. He's running around the pocket, scrambling against the Niners defense. Best defense in the NFL, some might say. The calf is healthy. The vision is healthy. The receivers are healthy. And my Super Bowl pick, the Cincinnati Bengals, are rolling again.
Damn.
I never doubted them. I think they're going to still get all the way to Las Vegas Super Bowl.
It's crazy that you see 2 good games of Cincinnati and you're like, that's it. Joe Burrow, Big Dick. All right, Big Dick for the week. I see it. Maybe not the Super Bowl, but who knows? All the teams that are good seem to be failing a little bit. And that's kind of like a scary thing when you see it. Like even the Dolphins, sometimes they start out a little slow. But I had a different BDE this week. I had 2. One of the BDE was Will Levis. I thought he came in and he looked like such a better quarterback than Tannehill ever could be. They took Malik out and they're like, you got to get out of there. He went in through touchdowns. DeAndre Hopkins, best game he's ever had sitting on my bench in fantasy.
Oof.
But best game he's ever had.
Pros didn't tell you to start Hopkins this week?
Listen, even if they did, I was not going to do it when I was unsure which quarterback was going to be on the field. Are we going to do a rotation? Is Malik going to be in? Is Will going to be in? I'm glad Will's in. Will's starting Thursday night. We can talk about it this week, but like that man looked good. And now is he the older quarterback who's like actually 30 and he was in college longer, or is that another quarterback?
That's a different guy. Will Levis is not 30. He might feel like he's 30 because he hasn't played football in a while. And the draft, right? He fell a lot. There's a lot of criticism of him. They're like, he's not going to be the guy. He goes to a team with Tannehill and the Titans. I feel like you're following my lead here on BD. You're giving it to a guy who's been forgotten about, who's been written off. And as Gino says, if you don't write back, you don't have to write us off.
Yeah,
right?
they never wrote, so it didn't write back. Yeah, I don't. It is weird when you watch like a rookie come in, like even Tyson Bagnet. Listen, he was bad this week. The Bears should not be on any primetime TV.
Yeah,
it was bad. I didn't even watch it. I was like, I don't need to watch this.
Didn't have to. Yeah,
but Will Levis coming in as like a rookie, he looked really good. Now, I don't want to get overexcited. Like I feel like a lot of times we overreact. Every week we overreact.
Week one, big overreaction. So we have to learn from that every year.
I know. And then this week, I'm going to overreact. I really want to play Will this week on Thursday Night Football. But I'm like, he's a rookie. How much does he really know? He's going to go in. But I think they're playing Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah, it's a short week, though. It's Thursday. He's not getting many reps.
But
is Tannehill coming back? Will Tannehill be traded by them?
Pittsburgh also doesn't have a quarterback either. He's at a lot of injuries. I wrote down backup QB day because everybody came in and it was a big backup QB day. And Kirk tore his Achilles, which we could talk about. Will Levis came in. Tyrod went to the hospital. Stafford hurt his thumb. Pickett is maybe a rib injury. But first thing that came to mind when Kirk tore his Achilles, I'm like, oh, this is great for Kirk because maybe he will actually go to another team after this. And is this a good thing for Minnesota? Or is this a bad? I don't know who the backup is. I have no idea.
That's a sad thing to think because the Vikings were just turning it around. They're finally moving the ball down the field with Addison, with Hawkinson. They're finally looking good on offense. They beat San Francisco 6 days ago. They beat Green Bay. I felt terrible for Kirk as soon as it happened. The way he didn't put any weight on it, he goes hobbling to the sidelines. No, bad for Kirk, bad for the Vikings. Maybe the only blessing is it happened a day before the trade deadline, and maybe they can go get another quarterback right now. But you're right. So many injuries. There's quarterback needy teams. The Vikings and Steelers are two of them. Stafford's another one. It's like we are going to a dark spot of quarterbacking all of a sudden, like this week in the NFL.
Do you think the NFL is going to do something about? They were playing on turf, right? They were playing indoors at Minnesota.
Yeah. No, that was at Green Bay.
So that was at Green Bay.
That was cool.
I just
it's
wonder.
Only Giants Stadium, right? That has all the issues with the turf.
Yeah, the outdoor turf. But it is weird. It seems like an Achilles injury hasn't happened a lot, and then two quarterbacks this season go down with it. I don't mean that. I guess they're older, so I guess that's maybe something that could happen. But it does.
What's something else they both have in common, Mike?
I don't know. What
do Kirk Cousins and Aaron Rodgers have in common?
I don't know. What do they have? I have no idea what.
Mike, you must know.
I have no idea.
They are both anti-vaxxers, and they both had Achilles pops. It's possible. It's possible the vaccine is also preventing Achilles tears.
Wow. We'll have to see because I know Mr. Pfizer, Travis Kelce. Maybe he doesn't get one. He
hasn't had one pop, right?
No, he hasn't had one pop. I don't know. I don't know if it's anti-vaccine that did it, but it's definitely something with the QBs. All right. I also have a bullshit or believe on a quarterback. You want to do it?
No. Speaking of these quarterbacks, I just have to let you know something that we are entering the purgatory of every NFL fan, and it's happening at the quarterback position. And this happens every season. You just don't know exactly when it happens. Sometimes early in the year. Sometimes it takes until week 16, 17. I am so scared for the NFL without any quarterbacks going forward. Mike, how many solid NFL quarterbacks do you think are in the world? If I just pose that question to you, how many solid NFL quarterbacks exist in the whole world?
Are we saying like starting quarterbacks are even back? I think some backups are decent. Like if there's a whole backup league, we might see which ones rise to the top.
I don't know. There's many decent backups. Solid. I think I posed a question.
I mean, let's say there's 12. There's like 12 solid quarterbacks in the league. Now, maybe not after yesterday, after everybody went down and got injured, but I'm going to say 12. What do you?
You're right. I did the math on this. There's only 15, and so you actually undersold it a little bit. But still, we know there's 32 teams in the NFL, and so that means at least half don't have one. If there's 15 good, there's 17 bad, right? If there's 12 good, as you say, there's even more than that bad, and it's really scary. Like we know the good ones. We know the Allens, the Hurtses, the Mahomes. We know Lawrence and Burrow, and I'm putting Dak in the good ones. Stafford was also hurt. Gino, I'm putting in the good ones. Rodgers hurt. What I'm saying is the NFL has a quarterback problem, and I have this whole list of guys who are not in those 15 that we can talk about, but it's about to get worse because we're seeing the Steelers, the Vikings, and the other
New York.
and New York all don't have quarterbacks going
Minnesota.
forward, and we're going to be exposed to backups now, and it's not a good situation.
How about this? I want to also say maybe it's not the quarterbacks, because clearly these guys have talents. Like they are better than us playing at quarterback, right? Backups even might be better than us at playing quarterback. We could assume.
Yeah, of course.
Do you think it's more the coaching staff? Do you think it's like, I only work well with a guy that does X, Y, Z, and if we're mixed up and he does A, B, C, and I do X, Y, Z, maybe he's not going to be able to do what I need him to do because I only understand the game this way and he doesn't understand it this way. Similar to like what San Francisco was looking for, right? Like they found Brock Purdy. He worked because he understood what Shanahan wanted.
Is he working now?
Listen, after that, there's a stat out there. After he had a concussion, it's been a downfall. I think he's still recovering. He came back way too fast after his concussion. Give the man a break.
You don't trust those doctors in San Francisco.
They rushed
cleared.
Only quarterback this year that was cleared within a week.
Mike, the only player who was cleared within a week to play the next game after a concussion, not just quarterback. So you're onto something there. Sketchy neurological doctors in San Francisco. On the Brock Purdy discussion, we'll get back to him in a second. I just think this is the time when we mentioned it. The Vikings and the Steelers are now don't have a quarterback. The Titans, like, do we trust Levis? That's another question mark still.
Probably
There's
not.
The idea. Some people talk about expansion in the NFL. Some people say there'll be 2 new teams and we should go to 34. And my point is we don't have enough quarterbacks for what we have at 32. There could be no thought of expansion. They're expanding the season. They're adding games at the end of the regular season. Like your point, we're not seeing players recover from concussions like they should. Never the same week, unless it's Brock Purdy in San Francisco. So I think we're entering a little bit of a dark time for fantasy stats, for overs, for points, for red zone, for quad boxes, because we're about to see worse quarterback play throughout the rest of the season.
But all right, so like Thursday night football's coming. We know it's going to be bad football. But if they're both bad, does it make it good? Like if both quarterbacks are so bad, does all of a sudden
did you watch the Giants-Jets game? Wasn't that an example of bad being bad and really bad?
It was a little rainy. It was gross out. But
who's the Giants quarterback? Danucci? He's like an Italian stallion.
Yeah. What's it called? What's the short guy called? That's what his last name was. Danny DeVito. It was a DeVito.
DeVito, that's right. I think he had 4 passing yards maybe once he came in for Tyrod, who amazingly is back in the hospital with another punctured.
I know.
Something. This guy always gets the worst end of it.
The DeVito guy, I heard a stat from the second quarter until like the last 3 minutes of the game, he did not throw a pass at all the entire time. All they did was run the ball.
Saquon had a lot of yards, so maybe that was effective. When you are the worst quarterback on the field to Zach Wilson, you know you're down bad, and that was DeVito yesterday.
If DeVito's in this Sunday, you got to fade everything against him. Like throw pass yards, rush everything possible against him. Yeah,
but Mike, that's my point. It's like we're getting bad quarterbacks there. The Rams and Stafford, he has a torn UCL, or it's going to be day to day, week to week. He may not play for a while. Dobbs in Arizona, for some reason, I don't know if he's being benched or hurt. Your boy is now not starting next week. It's going to be either Kyler Murray or Thune, and if it's Thune, they're back in the Caleb Williams sweepstakes intentionally. I don't think bad quarterback play, even when they play each other, is watchable. And I'm worried that your Sunday ticket package, right? You have 8 games in a window every week. It's going to be like 4 of them are unwatchable. You can only watch 4 at a time. Your quad box is going to be all you need.
I know. The quad box is good. I guess it's like sometimes you get surprised. Like the Tyler Bagnett thing, like he was surprised that first week. We're like, wow, he can actually throw. It's like, it might be a nice surprise Thursday. We'll see if Will Levis is the real thing. You can kind of like, it's almost like a scouting game. It's like, I'm going to watch this, but I'm not really going to watch it and kind of see what happens. But yeah, it's going to be really bad because injuries seem more prevalent this year than ever. Like it seems like all the like big guys are getting sick. I mean, I know Mahomes. I mean, I just said sick because Mahomes was sick supposedly with the flu game. Also, by the way, I wanted to take Denver, but I kept getting weird reports. I couldn't tell if it was actually snowing or they just kept showing snow footage and there was actually no snow anywhere on the field.
It was supposed to snow in Denver. It was snowing in the Denver area.
It did, but then they cleared it, but then it stopped snowing for the game. So I was like, oh, wow.
Well, the Chiefs hadn't lost to the Broncos straight up. I know there was a line involved, but they hadn't lost straight up in like the last 12 times, like 6 years or something since before Mahomes came along. So anyway, we have a quarterback problem that's been identified. Shout out to Levis. So he has shown us more than a guy like Jordan Love has ever shown us, more than a guy like Tannehill, to your point, more than number 1 overall pick Bryce Young has shown us. more than Jordan Love, like I mentioned. So maybe more than Bryce Young. All these guys, CJ Stroud, all these guys have not shown as much as Will Levis. So
They're not consistent. Yeah.
One more for you, Mike. And this is a new game I've been playing with you a little bit on.
Oh.
Every week I kind of list a quarterback who's better than Brock Purdy. I've told you recently, PJ Walker is better than Brock Purdy. I told you Gardner Minshew is better than Brock Purdy. I have a new entrant.
Hold on. Do those still hold up? Can I avoid those picks? Because I don't think they're.
Which one are you avoiding?
I'm going to avoid both of those you just mentioned. I don't think they're as good anymore. Yeah. I don't think Gardner Minshew should be qualified as a better quarterback than Brock Purdy. I think Brock Purdy's better.
We should leave it up for debate. Let the people comment if they prefer. If you were starting an NFL franchise, would you rather Purdy or Minshew? I think the people are voting for Minshew.
Wow.
My point is I have a new entrant this week, a new quarterback better than Brock Purdy, and this is going to piss you off.
Okay.
It's Russell Wilson.
That's fine.
Russell Wilson is playing better football than Brock Purdy.
I saw the stats. I know on the screen they're like, oh, look at compared to Mahomes.
You saw the passer rating better than Patrick Mahomes?
I don't think he's better. I think there are blips, and you can always maybe, every once in a while you make a good recipe, right? They let Russ cook a little bit. You got lucky. He cooked up a good meal that night, but I don't think he can consistently cook a good meal. And I think that's what is going to make the difference between a good quarterback and a Super Bowl winning quarterback. Like our boy Brock Purdy will be winning a Super Bowl this year with that elite team. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. He's really not playing like it. That's shocking with how they're playing right now. But maybe you have to have a real downturn on October 30th to come back up. And
we'll see. We'll see if there's any trades.
Russell also has less picks than Mahomes. Mahomes' whole thing was always never turning the ball over. And Russell Wilson is a guy who you think is always turning the ball over. But I think we need to take a closer examination in Denver, a closer examination of Sean Payton, of Russell Wilson, and not blaming Russ automatically. That was not Russ who gave up 70 points to the Dolphins and embarrassed that team. That was Sean Payton's defense. And I'm starting to see Russ is cooking again, and we'll see if it
goes. So you've come 180. Last week, if I talked to you, you're like, I hate football. I'm bad at gambling. I don't understand it. All these teams are bad.
I don't hate football. I hate betting. Those are two different things. I know ball.
Russ is good. Russ is the best quarterback. Sean Payton should get an award, best coach of the year. Yeah. You're just back on it. Okay.
I just have to tell you, because Brock Purdy's your guy, and I know he's your guy. I just need you to know that there's a quarterback every week that is surprisingly better than him.
What? All right, we'll see what happens. All right, I got a bullshit or believe real quick on a quarterback too.
Okay.
Bullshit or believe time. Bullshit or believe time. Bullshit or believe. All right, my bullshit or believe. There is a supposed trade for Kyler Murray to the Falcons, and tell me if this is bullshit or believe. Cardinals looking to rebuild, but they like that. There's like a plus sign. This is a tweet out there or whatever, an X or I don't know what they're calling it. Cardinals with 2 first-round picks in a loaded QB class, and Falcons have playoff roster but are missing a QB, and they benched Ritter yesterday. So
bullshit or believe.
That was a long. It's like myself coming in.
Talk over yourself.
Is this bullshit that Kyler Murray will be a Falcon on Tuesday night?
It is a bullshit because he'll be a Minnesota Viking by Tuesday night. That's my breaking news. Hit it.
Whoa, breaking news. Hold on. I got a record scratch. Hold on. Where is my breaking news? There it is.
Kyler Murray is on the move, but not to Atlanta, as you say. I know the Falcons have a quarterback problem. I know Ritter is not the guy. I know Ritter was concussed on Sunday, and he was past his concussion test. He was allowed to come back, and Arthur Smith said, no, you stay on the sideline because it's Heineke time.
Heineke.
It was not – I like Heineke too. They just didn't get it done, and you need to go beat Will Levis in that situation. If you want to be the guy, you need to go beat Will Levis. So I get Atlanta has a quarterback thing, but they're not going to end the Ritter experiment yet by acquiring Kyler. Kyler's a long-term investment. The other thing is Heineke is paid solid for a backup. I think they should let Heineke roll a little bit, see if they can get Kyle Pitts involved, Drake London involved. It's not Atlanta. Minnesota's the team. I talked to you earlier about it because they are built for now. They are playing their best ball of the year. Some would say they're better than last year's team, which went like 12-6 or 13-4, whatever it was. But they got lucky at the end. Yeah, Minnesota might actually be better than that team that went 13-4 and hosted a playoff game last year. Now they lost their quarterback. They need to get someone in there. Hopefully it's someone better than Ryan Tannehill. Maybe it's Kyler Murray. Maybe it's someone else who's available.
I mean, Kyler Murray, I like it, but yeah, it's going to be hard to get a quarterback when everybody needs a quarterback. Like, who are you going to go after? Like Jacoby, it sounds like everybody and their mom wants Jacoby Brissett on their team as their quarterback because he's just, where is he sitting right now? Is he just
He's
in Washington?
Yeah, Sam Howell's playing good, so they could trade Jacoby. Jacoby's not a real upgrade, right? Like at Minnesota should run out anonymous player C. I saw Jameis Winston is also in conversations with Minnesota, with Atlanta. I could see Jameis on the move. You're right. The quality of quarterback isn't there.
It's not, yeah.
But certain teams like Atlanta, like Minnesota, should be looking into it. I feel
like
like the Jets thing has left, right? Like Zach Wilson is now their guy. They're 4-3, and Rodgers is throwing in pregame warm-ups, so they'll just wait for Rodgers now.
Yeah, he'll be back soon. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know if he's playing great, but yeah, they're not going to trade him away. I think I'm hoping there's a big trade on the trade deadline. I feel like nothing ever happens. Like today, Seahawks got a defensive lineman. Like,
he's really good. I know it's not exciting for you in your Seahawks jersey, but he's really good. And for a second round pick, they gave up a lot actually because the Seahawks, people were making the joke today. They always draft a running back in the second round. Kenneth Walker, Zach Charbonnet, like they needed their second rounder for next year to draft another running back. So maybe this is good for Kenneth Walker and Chardonnay that they won't be replaced.
They got him away. I have some gambling stats. Do you want to go over some stats? Do you want to? I got some good stats for gambling. Yeah, and then we could talk gambling too. So the gambling stats I have are all from Twitter, all kind of organized. I have a whole bunch of stuff. So this is good. This is going to go in my portfolio of remember next year because these stats will help you win some gambling. So first is Joe Burrow is now 17-8 against the spread as an underdog, and including 15-2 against the spread when a dog of 3 or more points. So that's a good stat to keep. He's probably not going to be an underdog too often.
It's pretty rare these days. You're right. So you were on that game early in the week. We recorded last Monday, and you were on it. By the time Sunday rolled around, you were off it.
Well, because I got the news Brock Purdy was playing. I'm like, oh, this is scary. Like the line moves so much. Where's the value at? I still had value on San Francisco.
I didn't even think when I saw Brock Purdy active, I didn't even think to get off that game. If anything, and you know where I'm at with Purdy, if anything, that helps the Bengals at this point. Purdy's not playing good ball.
I was off. It got me scared. I can't get scared. Too much news. I have too much information and I'm scaring myself away. Another stat, your boy Tua is now 16-5 against the spread at home with the Dolphins. Last 20 years, he's the fourth of 257 QBs ATS at home. So he's like one of the best QBs at home. So that's a really good stat against the spread.
Which means he must be really bad on the road. There are 2 losses this year on the road. But one thing I'll say about the Patriots game yesterday is a lot of people were saying, well, it's going to be hot in Miami. They're going to be in the sun. That's the whole thing early in the season. It was like 70 degrees yesterday in Miami. The Patriots were not cooking in that sun, and the Dolphins still covered.
Can you guess the 4 QBs above Tua that are better at him at home? 2 of them I feel like you'll know, but one you probably won't get.
Dak would be one.
No, Dak's not on there.
Dak's good at home. What do you mean?
Dak's not on there.
I assume Mahomes and Josh Allen.
No. The record. It's weird.
None of them are good at home.
It's a weird.
So it's not like
record.
the best teams because they're always big favorites and hard to cover.
So he's fourth.
You might not think of.
And then
Trevor Lawrence maybe.
No. So then third is Matt Hasselbeck at home. And then there's Tom
this
Brady.
Is all time. This is all time.
all time. Then Tom Brady and then Aaron Rodgers.
That
at home.
What is Matt Hasselbeck doing on there?
I don't know. I mean,
that's Seattle's home crowd. That's what that is. That's Marshawn Lynch. That's beast mode. That's their home crowd.
Yeah.
It's not
Tom
because
Brady.
Hasselbeck was real good.
I know.
The other ones make sense.
Few more. Dak Prescott tends to perform well as a big favorite. He is now 32-7 straight up, 27-11 against the spread as a favorite of 6 or more points. Second best ATS of 144 QBs. Behind just Tom Brady in the last 20 years as a 6-point favorite.
Dak bounces back is what I would say about Dak. I don't
You
always know
love
that
Dak.
it's against the worst teams. Maybe he racks up yardage and stats and vanity points against these worser teams, and so people think of him as being better, and he can't win the big games. So maybe that's what your stat is telling us. But he made the Rams look bad.
Well, that's the thing I worry about these trends and stats, because this is a very obscure stat. But I think if you just look at it at he is 27-11 ATS of a favorite of 6 or more, that's a pretty good stat. That says if you just lean to one side over the years, you should win some money. But it is hard week to week. But yeah, it could also be the division too, right? Like the last few years, I feel like the division has not been too strong. One more. It's been good to fade Chicago, the most profitable NFL team to bet against. Since 2022, the Bears are 17-7 ATS. So I guess that means they're not against the spread, like they're not covering the spread, or the
They're
most
7 and
profitable team to
17?
bet against.
They must be 7-17 against the ATS. So
Yeah.
against the spread.
It's
So
a
when
weird-
you fade them, you win 17 out of 24 times.
Yeah. So it's a weird stat, but it goes all the way back to 2018 just against the spread, and it seems like they're pretty profitable. I just think Bears have it tough over there. I don't know what's going on with them.
That should be an indictment on the head coach, because Vegas is kind of saying what's fair, who's even, what this should be, right? Vegas is the one kind of saying this is how it should be coming into it. And then it's the Bears who themselves do not even live up to Vegas's line time after time after time. So that means like you're playing under where you should be, which means your coaching staff sucks and your GM sucks and the Bears whole organization sucks.
Yes.
I think that's what you just told me.
I think that's exactly what I just said.
Why did the Bears blow out the Raiders 2 weeks ago? Why did I say, hey, they're a 9-point dog against the Chargers? That's too much. The Chargers aren't a very good team. And so I bet on the Bears and then they don't cover. Like, what's going on week to week where this happens?
I think it's the public perception, right? Like you are now like got a boner for Joe Burrow, maybe going to bet Joe Burrow this week. And it's just, oh, he was good last week, he'll be good this week. And I don't think the NFL works like that. And that's the hard part to follow, because you're like, oh, you did so well. I gotta bet with you. That guy, that rookie's good. Just like this Thursday, we want to bet Will Levis, but I'm scared because I know that's not how it works. Like there's no way that man shows up in Pittsburgh and is just as good against Pittsburgh.
But he doesn't have to be just as good. He only has to
I
be
know.
better than Mitchell Trubisky, who's probably starting for the Steelers. And it's like, yeah, he probably is better than that. So it really don't have to be that good. Only better than the team across from you.
That's true. Do you want to talk gambling or you got another story? We have a hangover hotline to respond to, and then we have some gambling. I got some early leans. What do you got?
Let's do hangover hotline, and then I want to hear your
All
early
right.
leans. For
Let's get the hangover hotline. Where I got it somewhere, right? No, I don't have it here. It's not here. It's not
no
lined
way.
up.
That's one of the newer ones. That's probably why.
It is. Yeah, it's not here.
Well, the hangover hotline is real, and people can reach out to us on the phone, right, Mike?
So yeah, you can reach out on the phone, or you can leave a comment on the video. We'll respond to both. Our YouTube channel is popping. Go over there. It's the Sports Hangover on YouTube. Just search Sports Hangover, youtube.com/Sports Hangover. Find it there, or give us a call, 323-334-0239. I had to reactivate it today because Google's like, what is going on with your phone number? You haven't been using it. So our hotline's back. Our answering machine is there. We're not going to pick up your call. It'll just go straight to voicemail or text us. Or just text us.
We're always waiting for your call.
323-334-0239. Call us and we'll see what happens. So this is a response to your Jordan Love experiment. This guy's on your side. I just want to start off with that. He 100%. This guy seemed really sad. He wrote like a really long story. So he's like, this is Ken Forrest 8521. And he says, before the season started, I said Jordan Love would be benched by midseason. He was outplayed during the preseason by other quarterbacks and should have not been the starter, and now looks terrible. The only reason he won't be benched is because Green Bay's front office has been trying to sell the fans on Love and now have an egg on their face. Green Bay was blessed with 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks in a row, but now that has ended. Welcome to the bottom of the division for years to come. He was really...
Wow. He's really self-aware of where the Packers organization is. So many fans, like we know mutual friend, like they're never honest with themselves about the state of their franchise. And this guy, Ken, is very honest about where the Packers are. And based on a stat you told us earlier in the show, it's no surprise because he knows good quarterback play. He saw Rodgers cover more than any other quarterback at home. He saw it year after year, home game after home game. And now he's forced to watch Jordan Love, which is such a drop. It's like, as a Dolphins fan, I saw bad quarterbacks for 25 straight years. years. I'm used to it. This poor guy in Green Bay saw Rodgers every year lighting it up, and now all of a sudden they get Jordan Love, which makes it even worse. But I think he's very aware of the Packers organization. It's very similar to what I said. They had all this time to figure it out, and they still don't know, so they're just going to try to save face, and I'd wipe them all out. LaFleur, you might be a great head coach one day, but not here in Green Bay.
All right, I like it. Just wipe them all out. Fresh start. Get a new started.
First coach fired. That's got to be an underdog. I'm saying LaFleur and Green Bay.
Go bet it. I think that would be good. All right, let's do some. Where are the bets? All right, here. Let's do some best bets.
If money talks, then I got a lot to say. I'm on the grind trying to make $100,000.
So it's a long song. We'll fade it down. This week I felt like this. Looking at the spread, it's Monday. The lines just came out. They're going to adjust. Our pool's going to lock them tomorrow night. Mm-hmm. I thought this was a really hard week. I looked at it. I saw 4 games I kind of like. Let's start with your boys are they going to Germany or are they going to London this week?
They're going to Germany. If you were in town and not flying on this beautiful NFL Sunday, you'd be coming over at 6:30 a.m. Pacific for Dolphins.
Oh, you would let me come over at 6:30 in the morning?
Yeah, we're having a watch party, Mike. Who's
coming?
Invited.
Is it a party?
Friends invited.
Wow.
Yeah, 6:30 a.m. arrival. I mean, it's not for everyone, but it is for you.
I would love it. Yeah, get out of there at 10 o'clock.
They're playing in Germany. It's like a great game too. So I don't love the idea of Dolphins Chiefs, 2 great offenses squaring off at a time.
I know.
A lot of people won't be watching, but I'll wake up at any time to see to it.
I'm just leaning towards Miami because of what I saw in Denver. And I think it's also really hard for KC to kind of, not to bounce back, but I feel like they're missing the weapons they need. They keep looking for a receiver other than Kelsey, and they can't seem to find it. I feel like Miami's got an explosive offense. I'm going to see who's flying first. That's my big decider on who I want to bet on. The earlier you get there, the better you are at adjusting these time zones. Also, Travis Kelsey has been partying it up. He's at Philly games. He's going out. He's going to be
the World Series.
I know. He's going to be doing Halloween with Taylor Swift. I don't know what's going on, but I don't like it when I see my players out. I need you to not be drinking alcohol during the season. Or at least
we don't know if he's drinking. What if he has fun without alcohol? I know it's hard to do, but what if he does?
That man's not doing that at a Phillies game. Okay. So I worry. I think Miami, they got their head in. They're a little bit closer. I mean, I guess they're not as close, but direct flight there. If they get in early, I like it. They're getting 2.5 points. It's not technically a home game. Has anybody ever played in Germany? Did they play last year?
I think this is the first time. The Dolphins do arrive early. They are flying today. I think they're mid-flight right now because Mike McDaniel wanted to give the team the off day on Tuesday in Germany to be sightseers, get adjusted to the schedule, and then 3 hard days of practice in Germany, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
I like that. I really want to bet on Miami this week. It scares me because it's such a big game, and then you start the morning 0-1 if they lose.
It is tough. I'm surprised you're leaning Miami because the Dolphins go up to Buffalo and you're like, they're going to lose. And they did. And then the Dolphins go to Philadelphia and you're like, they're going to lose. And they did. Yeah. This one is different though. Germany. Like you just gave it to a home stat. He's not good on the road.
I know, but I this is what I think. I think KC doesn't have a great defense. And I think Miami, if they game plan enough, I don't think KC can stop what they have. So that's where I'm leaning towards. Right, it's Monday. Who knows what's going to happen on a Saturday?
You get off these.
I'm going to do another pick. We're going to have Gambling Goose on. I think he went like 5-0 this week in the contest after going 0-5. Did he go?
There's no way he went 5-0. No.
Oh, okay.
I saw some losses on his. I'm sorry. Okay. I'm sorry to knock him down, but he had some losses.
All right. Well, I'm going to talk to him later in the week. I'm going to see where his mind's at. I'm trying to give everybody some, like, if they're listening and they're also in the pool, at least they can pull a little. But obviously, don't listen to me. I'm not doing good. Like our friend Ingle. He went 5-0 for sure this week. And
is Ingle in the pool?
Dingleberry, that's him.
Oh, he did go 5-0. I didn't know that was him.
I don't know how that man does it.
Another novice.
I got to get him on the pod and see how he does it, but there's no goddamn way that man.
System. Like keep bringing people on. There's no system.
You want another game, or you got a game?
No, tell me what you like.
This week it's tough. First, when I looked at this game, Seattle in Baltimore, I leaned Ravens, but then I thought, this could be a really good spot for Seahawks. They're coming off a big win. Did you see those throwback jerseys? How good those look?
Yeah, those are sick. Honestly, they were great. And the logo on midfield matched them. That's rare too.
It was great. It was a great jersey. Yeah. Ravens are a weird team. But what I wrote down in my notes was Ravens are a better version of Seattle. I feel like sometimes Lamar, he runs it, he throws it, he looks really good. Geno's not as mobile. But Geno can sling that ball. I don't know if you're watching the game. Geno was like putting in tight spots, slinging it over
To both teams. He would throw spirals to both teams.
He does do that a lot. But the Ravens are a weird team. Ravens did not cover after. I didn't watch the end of the game, but it was like
they were up so much. They were up 24-7, like late fourth quarter, and they didn't cover, which is like a bad backdoor, which kind of opens your eyes. Like maybe they're giving up in fourth quarters. Maybe you take the dog against them when I see Seattle's at +5.5 right now.
Yeah.
If that goes up, if that gets up to 6.5, 7, that's very appealing because I think the Seahawks offense can stick with the Ravens and Lamar. I just think the Ravens defense is a little tougher than Seattle.
Yeah, so we'll see. I mean, I know it's travel. I want to see if it's raining out there. That kind of determines too. You want to see the weather, but yeah, right now I kind of like Seattle at the 5.5. Ravens didn't look good, so that's also worrying me a little bit. Is this like it's a weird line? 5.5, anything in the 5 zone? That's the Vegas zone. Vegas doesn't really know which way to go, so maybe
that's
we'll
one to take advantage of if you feel strongly on then.
I would say the Vegas zone is a scary place to be because it's not a key number, right? 5.5, 6 is a number you want, so you're not going to cover. But if you're Seattle, that means you have to win by more than 6, which is scary. But you can't lose by 6, which is easier to do than lose by 6 because 2 field goals. So it's a weird number. The 5, 5.5, 4.5 zone, that's a weird place. I got Cincinnati's at home. They're playing Buffalo, right?
Great game Sunday night. And this is the beauty of it. We mentioned the 6:30 a.m. Pacific, 9:30 Eastern Dolphins Chiefs game. That starts us early in the day. We have 14 hours of good football. It's not always good football on these days when you have the Europe game and the Sunday night. Like maybe one isn't good. But we start with Dolphins Chiefs. We end with Bills Bengals. This is elite on Sunday, and you're going to miss it all.
I liked it. Well, I'm going to see the game. I'll be back in. I'll be on the East Coast by Sunday Night Football time, I'll be there. Don't worry, it'll be good. I think not even Sunday Night Football. I'll be there for the afternoon.
Cowboys
game.
Eagles too.
Yeah.
Right? All right. So where are you leaning? Bills Bengals? Because the line right now is Bengals -3. It's a really like who knows.
Oh, it's Bengals. So when I was looking at it, I was getting a 1.5 on Cincinnati, and I said Cincinnati's looking good. But if they're at -3 right now, I think I might lean Buffalo just because of how good Buffalo has been. Like. They haven't been playing that well, but I think that's also the public looking at them and saying you're not a good team. So I'd probably go Buffalo. If I was,
but what if it's Bengals -2.5? Because that's what it's going to end up being in our.
I know.
With the hook, 2 in the hook.
They're playing in Cincinnati. Let's check the weather. We'll see. But I like Buffalo. I think did they just trade for somebody? Didn't they just get a running back out there?
They didn't, but who did they play yesterday? No one. They played the Bucks 4 days ago, so they're extra rested for this trip.
That's true. Coming off the bye, I like that.
Right. And this is a big deal, a storyline to follow. DeMar Hamlin back on Cincinnati's field. This was the matchup last year where it happened. So I feel like we're all gonna be watching a little bit like bated breath, make sure everyone's okay.
And it was Sunday Night Football last year.
It was Monday Night Football, but at night in Cincinnati. So kind of crazy.
All right. My next game, I like Houston at home playing the Bucks. They're getting -2.5. I don't know if the lines are different here. I like this as like a bounce back spot for Houston. Last week, I liked Carolina. All week, Houston was like, this was like a matchup of first and second round draft picks, which was fun. But I think overall, I think Houston's still a better team than Bucks. We saw the Bucks play. The refs helped that game so much. I know the Bucks are also coming off the long week, but I think Houston can outplay I don't know. It just seems like
Mike,
a better
I
team.
saw the Hail Mary of the Bucks Bills game last Thursday when the Bills defenders tackled several Bucks receivers. It should have been 1st and goal on the 1 untimed down for the Bucks to win the game. I thought they played decent against the Bills, even despite Josh Allen playing really well.
Did you see the last 4 minutes of the game where the refs moved them 60 yards of penalties?
I saw that. Yeah,
it was not good.
I kind of like the Bucs side of that. I don't. The Bucs as a dog with extra rest. Houston demoralized. They lost to the Panthers, maybe the worst team in the NFL.
Yeah.
I like the Bucs side of that.
But I guess the thing for me is the Bucs. After watching Baker, he can't make decisions fast enough. Like, do you see him in the pocket where he's like this? He's like, kind of keeps moving around a little bit.
Is that because he's short? He can't see the field.
You think? Is he? How short is he?
He's shorter than he should be as an NFL quarterback. 5'11", I think. Maybe
I just like this spot for Houston. I think this is a good bounce back. Kind of, all right, guys, we're back in this. We'll see where it goes. Now, if the money goes all to the Bucks, maybe this line comes down. Maybe we get 1.5 on the game. I'd like Houston even more here, but still early in the week. So everything changes. By Saturday, who knows? It could be a whole different game.
The great game we didn't mention yet, Cowboys at Eagles. Every window from 9:30 Eastern until Sunday Night Football has great games. The one in the middle, the 4:25 Eastern, is Cowboys Eagles. It's in Philly. I think to your point earlier, Dak doesn't play well on the road. He doesn't cover against teams that he's an underdog against necessarily. So I think the Eagles side is what I'm thinking. But if it gets too big, I might consider Dallas.
I don't like the big games, but I get it. I feel like Philly's a better team, but yeah, I mean, might as well. There's not a lot of games this week, right? Like we're missing a few teams.
Yeah, yesterday was random in that there were no buys. I don't know how this happened. I had a conspiracy like maybe they didn't want NFL players going out Halloween weekend like to get drunk, so they wanted them all playing. I don't know if that's like a weird theory, but I don't know why. Because like in the middle of all the bye weeks, there was no buys. There's a lot more buys coming up.
Yeah, they should push. When do the buys start? They start like week 5,
early,
or
like 5,
4.
Yeah.
It's weird. I don't know. It's a weird week to just like not have a bye, but who knows? We
have quality games in every window, so at least we have great viewing this Sunday.
That's all I got. If you guys want to hit up the Hangover hotline or just comment on our videos, go to the YouTube page. YouTube page will be bumping now. We're gonna have a lot of content there. It's youtube.com/Sports Hangover. You can find us there or on TikTok or Instagram. But comment, call us. If you want the number again, it's 323-334-0239. You can also find it. I'll put it on the website so it pops up so people can call us.
Cool.
That's all I got. Check out sportshangover.com. See you guys.